For generations, the rhythm of money in the Philippines was physical. Cash was king. Salaries, bills, groceries, even aguinaldo. It all happened with paper and coin. Then something shifted. Quietly, almost imperceptibly at first, a digital revolution began. And it wasn't led by banks or credit cards or even global tech giants. It was led by a tiny blue and white icon on our phones. Welcome to Chase Studies, and today we're not just looking at an app, we're looking at an economic transformation. GCash. From a simple mobile wallet, it became a lifeline for millions of Filipinos. It revolutionized how sari-sari stores operate, how OFWs send back money, how we shop, how we save, heck, even how we invest. With over 81 million users today, it's not just an app, it's a phenomenon. But how did GCash and the rise of digital wallets manage to crack the code of a deeply cash-based society? How did they build trust where traditional banks couldn't? This is the story of the GCash revolution. Before we talk about the solution, let's try to understand the problem. Product market fit, if you want to be technical about it. The Philippines has long been what economists call a cash-based society. In 2019, before the pandemic hit, only 30% of adult Filipinos had a formal bank account. That means over 70 million people were unbanked, or should I dare say, underbanked. And it's not because Filipinos don't want financial services. I'm pretty sure everyone does. But it's just because the system wasn't built for them.
This is ridiculous. I already waited for an hour, and now you tell me about the minimum deposit and the proof of residency.
The barriers in opening a bank account in the Philippines often requires minimum deposits, multiple IDs, and sometimes a utility bill under your name. For many in the informal sector or the underserved sector, these are massive hurdles. And the second problem is the geography. Try finding a bank branch in a remote barangay. It's almost impossible. Access to ATMs is limited outside major urban centers. And then there's the trust factor. For decades, cash has always been the default. People trusted what they could feel in their hands. So if you wanted to pay the bills, you lined up at the Bayad Center. If you wanted to send money to family in the province, you had to go to a local remittance center. You paid high fees and waited for days. If you wanted to save money, you would put coins or money in a literal alcanza or a piggy bank. This wasn't just inconvenient, it was inefficient. Traditional banking has a relatively high barrier of entry for the average Filipino. It costs time, money, effort, a little bit of economic participation. This was a perfect storm for a revolution. The origins of GCash go all the way back to 2004, launched by Globe Telecom. But for years, it was a niche service, primarily for sending small amounts via text or paying your Globe bills. It was more of a feature. It wasn't a platform yet. What changed? A couple of things. First, the smartphone penetration exploded. Bruh. Why would I say that? As feature phones gave way to more affordable Androids or even iPhones, the internet was suddenly in everyone's pocket, like now. Second was the BSP, or the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Our central bank aggressively pushed for financial inclusion and digital payments, especially for the underserved or the underbanked. They created frameworks like InstaPay or PesoNet. Did I say PesoNet? I'm still waiting for that thing to come through after 3 days now. It's been 3 days, by the way. They created frameworks like InstaPay and PesoNet to make interoperability between banks and other digital wallets easier. But the real spark? Intense competition. While GCash was powered by Globe and slowly gained traction, PLDT Smart Communications was cooking something up. Hey Maya, now known as Maya. This head-to-head battle pushed both companies to innovate at breakneck speed. Their brilliance isn't in inventing complex tech. It wasn't that at all. It was in making existing tech ridiculously simple and accessible. The QR code. This wasn't new. nor was it invented by either of them. But GCash and Maya made it the cornerstone of microtransactions. No need for expensive point-of-sale terminals or POS terminals. A cheap printed QR code sticker or even a piece of paper laminated was enough. This was huge for sari-sari stores. And then the ultimate catalyst came along, the pandemic. COVID-19 lockdowns made cash transactions dangerous. Suddenly, digital payments weren't just convenient, they were essential. The government even used GCash and other e-wallets for distributing ayuda, or aid. The numbers tell the story. In 2019, GCash had about 20 million users. By 2020, it was 33 million. By 2022, it hit 60 million. And today, over 81 million. That's over 70% of the Philippine population in just 4 years. That's not growth. That's an explosion. That's a revolution. The magic of GCash wasn't just bringing more people into the financial system. It was in creating a truly Filipino digital financial ecosystem, a digital bayanihan, if you will. Here are some of the major parts that made that ecosystem flourish rapidly. Sari-sari stores going digital, from cash only to accepting QR payments. This empowered micro-entrepreneurs, reduced cash handling risks, and expanded their customer base. Made everything convenient for the customer too. You don't have to lug around cash, all you need is your phone. Suddenly, the tendera is a digital merchant. Online shopping for everyone. Before, online shopping was mostly for credit card holders. Now with GCash as an option, or a mobile wallet, or an e-wallet, whatever you want to call it, as an option, millions could access Lazada or Shopee. And food delivery services too. That's a welcome bonus, especially if you're kind of lazy to cook. This fueled the e-commerce boom in the Philippines. And then there's the OFW factor. Sending remittances back home used to be expensive and slow. Now, OFWs in any part of the planet can easily send funds to their family members through GCash, almost instantly and with lower fees. That money is readily accessible wherever they are. Then there's the aguinaldo or ayuda. Suddenly, giving aguinaldo to your nieces or your nephews meant sending it through GCash. Government aid distribution becomes faster, reaching people even without bank accounts. And beyond payments, there's also GSave and GInvest. This is where it gets truly revolutionary. GCash didn't stop at payments. They partnered with banks like CIMB to offer GSave, a fully digital savings account with competitive interest rates and no minimum balance. And for those feeling a bit adventurous, there's also GInvest. It allows any account holder to invest in mutual funds for as low as 50 pesos. Is that barely $1 now? Think about that for a second. Millions of Filipinos who couldn't even open a traditional bank account now had access to a savings account and an investment portfolio, all using their phones. This wasn't just convenience. It's genuine financial empowerment, if you ask me. It's democratizing access to wealth building tools. This is the very definition of disruptive innovation. But no revolution is without its challenges, of course. GCash has been riddled with a few. There are security concerns. With so many transactions that happen every second, every minute, and every day, scams and phishing attempts are a constant threat. I'm pretty sure every Filipino has one relative that got caught with their pants down. And that is why education on cybersecurity has now become paramount. Then there's the connectivity issues too. While GCash is widespread, internet access can still be spotty in remote areas or more rural areas or out-of-the-way places, thus creating a digital divide. And then you also have the agent model. While convenient, GCash's cash in and cash out agent network has varying fees depending on the agent and liquidity issues. And then you have oversaturation. With GCash, Maya, ShopeePay, GrabPay, and more, are we heading towards too many competing wallets? Or will a few remain to dominate? Regardless of these hurdles, the direction is clear. The Philippines is rapidly moving towards being a cashless society. The volume of digital payments has skyrocketed in the past years, far exceeding pre-pandemic levels. GCash, Maya, and other players are now driving innovation in lending, credit scoring, and even integrating with government services. The GCash revolution wasn't just about an app. It was about solving a fundamental problem for millions of Filipinos. It built trust through simplicity, leveraged existing infrastructure, like the mobile phone, and scaled by understanding the unique needs of a cash-based society. It wasn't just product market fit, it was product culture fit. It wasn't just a fintech story, it was a Filipino story. And it fundamentally changed how we live, how we work, and how we spend. What's your GCash story? How has it changed your life or your business at the very least? I'd really love to know that. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you like, and as always, salamat for watching.